why would I not just hire the cheapest option that I have? Click here the subscribe button, set up the alert. The content of this video is useful for you. Let us know by clicking the like button. So here's where focus on price may not work in Canada. I can see this going both ways. Let's say if you're a business owner here and you're about to hire somebody, a service provider or a supplier, and you may think, well, of course, I'll hire the cheapest one, right? I mean, the cheapest it is, the more profits in my pocket. So why would I do that? It's stupid not to do that. So a lot of people think that, okay, I'll hire the cheapest service provider, for example, the cheapest lawyer, the cheapest accountant, and that's the smartest option. And this idea of cheap is better may also come across when you're trying to sell on the other side. On the other side, you may think, well, if clients know that I'm the cheapest option, of course they're going to choose me, because who doesn't want what's cheaper, right? Everybody wants to pay less for everything. So if I'm offering them great quality with lower price, they're going to come to me, right? Here's the problem with this way of thinking in both sides. Value and price are not necessarily always the same thing, but sometimes there is more a correlation between the two than in other situations. Hang on a second, what do I mean by that? Let's talk about two different types of environments. Let's talk about first a low trust environment. Low trust environment, typically people operate with a win-lose mentality. If I win, you're losing. If I'm losing, you're winning, right? Or okay, it's seen as a zero-sum game, right? If I'm winning something, it's because somebody else has to be losing, right? And if they're winning, that means I must be losing, right? So somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. In that type of environment, there is, as part of the negotiation, there's a lot of posturing, a lot of deceiving, and these are situations where typically it's very transactional. Okay, let's do this, make money, and move on, right? Or, oh, they're going to come back to me later because they have nowhere else to go. So, but there's not a lot of emphasis in building a relationship, right? I'll come back to that a little later here in this video. There's usually sometimes that perception that you want to avoid at all costs. Oh, they're going to take advantage of me, or they're trying to take advantage of me, or okay, I'm smart, and if they take advantage of me, they think I'm dumb. So there's all these noise in the background. In these situations, value and price are not necessarily aligned because people are always competing to be who's winning, who's losing. So sometimes value is lower than the price, right? I'm delivering this value and I'm charging this value up here. So the seller must be really smart. I'm getting all this money, only delivering this value. So in other words, the seller is outsmarting the buyer. The seller is the winner. The buyer is the loser. Vice versa. If value is higher than the price, that means the buyer is smarter. Wow, look at the value I'm getting, and I'm only paying this, right? So I'm the smart guy here. They're suckers. They're giving me all this value, and all I'm paying is this. So you see, these low trust transactional environments, they generate this type of reasoning where value and price typically are not aligned, right? Asymmetry. This is very typical of low trust environment. There's not a sense of belonging, of a community, like everybody is out there for themselves and trying to take advantage of the others. There are different environments though. There are high trust environment where typically there is more like a win-win mentality. Say, what can we do together here? More collaborative, right? Okay, let me help you, you help me. Let's achieve these goals together. In this type of environment, typically there's more transparency. Like, okay, let me tell you why I'm asking this, because it's really important. I cannot operate in this price that you're asking because otherwise I won't have profits. Or there's more a level of understanding. Like it's where everybody understands that the other side is also in business to make money. Say, yeah, okay, I cannot squeeze my supplier to death and I'm going to be feeling smart, but the supplier is going to die. It's not going to be here. So it's kind of everybody understands that the other side is also in business to make money. Everybody has the right to make money. In that type of higher trust environment, there is a bigger symmetry. And in Canada, it translates into a very simple phrase that you hear all the time in business. The phrase is, you get what you pay for. you get what you're paid for. There is the implicit understanding that if you're getting value at this level, you are expected, you're going to have to pay at this value. But if you say, no, I don't have that budget, I don't have this budget here, I want to pay here, then you will expect to receive less, because since you're only paying here, there is symmetry between price and value. These concepts can be put in very practical use on a day-to-day. We have products, we have our platform here where we help you. Click the links in the description. We help you in this journey to build success in Canada. Okay, click the link on the description here to learn more. Bottom line of our discussion today is that trust takes a long time to build, but it's lost very quickly, right? In Canada, relationships carry a larger weight than transactions. If you do a transaction and you think you are taken advantage of, you move away from that relationship. You don't want to deal with that person anymore. Canada, in that sense, behaves a little bit like a small town. Everybody knows everybody, and reputation is very important in that sense, that people trust you. In that type of environment that we have here in Canada, collaboration tends to be more important than competition. We're not there just to get you out of business. Okay, let's collaborate. Let me see how I can help you. Like if I have a supplier and I'm in trouble because I need earlier delivery than what they have promised, and I explain to them, listen, you could really help me here, and say, okay, sure, let me do this for you, because then maybe there's another time that they cannot deliver to you. Say, hey, remember that time I'd help you? Man, I'm in trouble here now. I have to make this huge delivery, and I cannot make your delivery 10 days from now. Is it okay if I do it in 15? So there's this relationship reciprocity that happens over time that is only possible in an environment of trust, where people believe that everybody has the right to win and to prosper together, right? So what happens in an environment like Canada, which is a high trust environment, what happens with pricing then? This is why you have to be careful if you're trying to do business and either buy from Canadian suppliers or sell to Canadians. First has to come in the understanding of the value. As a client, you need to understand really what is that your supplier is offering you. Dig deep, right? They say, oh yeah, we are offering you this in this package. So, okay, what am I paying for? Really try to quantify the size of the headache for cutting corners. Like as a client, like do you really want to just hire the cheapest supplier and the cheapest service provider that's not going to do everything, all the value that this other option is offering you? Make sure you understand the value you're getting. Understand first the value, then you go to a price discussion, right? As a seller, if you're now trying to sell to people in Canada, you have to make very clear what is the value that you're providing. Never go first telling people I'm the cheapest option. No, go make sure you cause a very deep impression in their brain so they understand that the value that you provide is superior. Quantify the problem that you're solving. They need to understand, oh man, I have this problem this big and they're solving this problem for me. So if you pay this amount to them, they're fine because you solved a problem that's much bigger. Try to quantify the problem or the opportunity that you're creating. Problem you're solving or opportunity you're creating. Because if you're charging just a fraction of that, they're going to be very happy. But again, make sure you focus on the value. The higher the value, the higher the price you can charge, because people are interested in solving the problem. It's not just focus on cheap, because they trust that what you're selling has value. Therefore, they understand that you deserve to be remunerated accordingly. That all comes from a very high trust environment, right? Only once there is an understanding of value. Again, if you're buying services or something, understand what you're paying for, understand what you're receiving. And if you're trying to sell to a client, understand what is the problem they have that you're solving. Once that value is understood, then, only then you go to discussions about price. Because then it's going to be much more clear that there is fairness in this transaction. You're going to say, oh, okay, you're solving me this big problem. Okay, so you're including all these in your scope. Okay, it makes sense that I pay all this. That's fine. Or the other hand, you say, well, you know what? You're offering me all these 10 things, but all I need really are these 3. So I cannot pay you all that amount, but please reduce your scope. I understand you have to make money, right? So then you can enter these negotiations in like good faith with an understanding of fairness, right? Without in a high trust environment that people are not trying to take advantage of each other. And the same thing goes for your client. If you show your client that the problem that you're solving is this big, and so what that you're charging this, okay, It has nothing to do with how much effort you put in solving that problem. It's the problem itself that you're solving that matters to them, right? And therefore you deserve to be remunerated. Anyways, there's 2 more videos here that you can get more information about this topic. Have a good one.